Arslan cleared PMP with all above target. Now, the journey of Arslan is just fascinating. Arslan joined us in batch 9 and he is among the last, I guess, two students left in the batch 9 who have not cleared the PMP. But one thing that distinguished this guy is score. What a score he got. He is among the highest score we got in PMP exam. So Aslan, I am fascinated. I'm extremely happy with the score you got, and this was just awesome. So Aslan, how do you feel first of all?
Uh, I feel euphoric, and I'm greatly happy. Or just before the PMP exam, I gave a couple of mocks, and I was like getting 67, 68% in prepcast. So I was pretty nervous on the day, but Alhamdulillah, I've achieved such a good score. And regarding this being a little bit late, I joined in June, but honestly, I didn't started working for it till September, October because I had a really busy June to August. And throughout the time, even though I missed the immediate month after the training, but the training was so good, and the material was such so self-explanatory and independent that as soon as I started studying, it didn't took me a lot of effort to be on the road to get PMP certified. So I think the credit, definitely all the credit goes to you by giving such to the point materials. And whenever, a lot of times you messaged me and I was not able to reply for a week or so, but whenever I messaged you, I got the reply on the same day, and just not the same day, maybe in the same hour. And you're always there to support and guide, and it helped me a lot throughout my journey, and I'm
Thank
very
you.
grateful to you.
So that what I called as a success coaching system, being there with the student and making sure and keep pushing them that they say, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
now there is only one way to get rid of this guy. Let's get clear this exam. So Arslan, finally you did it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah. Yeah,
extremely happy with that. So Arslan, let's talk about little bit about the 6 mocks you did, Udemy mocks. How relevant they were to the real
yeah.
exam.
Yeah, if I talk about the mocks, I think they were pretty relevant. The What I found out is that the actual questions on the PMP, they were a bit different to what I did in Prepcast, but the Udemy questions, they helped me a lot. And I also found that some of the questions in my PMP exam, they I remember doing in some of the Udemy mocks. Exact
The
questions. I saw
okay,
exact questions.
the context of the questions were similar as you
Yeah,
did. Yeah, context. Of course, you cannot remember. You did 6 marks,
yeah,
or you'd have
yeah,
the context of the questions were almost similar as you did.
yeah,
No, that
yeah.
there is a reason because that mocks have also been made by the certified PMPs like you. So that why the context was same.
Yeah.
The context
Even
was same.
for some of the questions, I think three or four, the wording was also same. I found.
Ah, okay. The wording
Yeah,
was also yeah.
yeah,
The the more thing I always work on that we get the same kind of context for the exam. Because the
yeah,
only reason I give you prepcast was the time thing, and
yeah,
because in my opinion prepcast is not updated, so that's why I gave you. But you did I know the last mock you did the score, you were like, what should I give it? I said, yeah, you give the exam, I know where do you stand.
yeah,
Oh, that
yeah.
yeah, that because now exam is more people oriented. So let's come to that area. How many questions you got? Which area was more dominated in your exam?
I think, yeah, it was more towards the people. It was a people oriented exam. And questions, if we talk about the questions, what I found out was that the questions were not pretty straightforward. they were always presented in form of a story, and you have to just read the story and then figure out which part of the PMP they are asking the question, and then choose the correct answer.
Okay. So story was there, and the problem was related to the team, how the team is working.
Yeah.
Apart from that, agile was more or hybrid was more.
I think
Agile,
agile was more.
agile
Agile,
predictive.
agile was more. There were questions, a lot of questions from agile and hybrid, but questions from predictive were pretty less.
Questions from predictive were pretty less. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about a little bit about this thing.
Mm.
When you talk about the questions were less,
Mm.
so approximately how many questions were there?
I think I remember that, in predictive it was only 5 6 questions, but I remember in agile and hybrid there must be like 20 22 something around that, because there were a lot of questions with product backlog, scrum master, product owner, self managing cross functional teams. A lot of questions were there, that's such like I just remember one question where the question was that a very high performing programmer left the agile team, what should be the agile scrum master duty to do, and stuff, questions like that, that are related to cross functional teams of agile, and product backlog. All these things were tested on the exam, but with predictive I think most of the questions they were just related to baselines, and there were not a lot of questions with project management or project management plan. So there were very few questions from predictive.
Okay, okay. So if we talk about more of the exam, so stakeholder communication, this was also targeted.
Well, I didn't find a lot of questions related to stakeholder, but yes, there were a lot of questions related to communication.
A lot of questions related to communication. What about agile?
Yeah.
What about agile? In agile, was it
Yes,
Scrum? No, no,
agile.
no. Let me put my question again. In agile, was it related to Scrum,
Mm,
Kanban? Which area was most highlighted?
yeah.
In agile, the questions were more from Scrum, or it was also from Kanban and other areas.
Well, in agile, uh, can there? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there is some
Uh,
kind of internet.
Mostly it was related to Scrum, but I remember doing couple of questions related to Scrum also, uh, to Kanban also, but most questions were from Scrum.
Most question was from Scrum.
Yeah.
Okay. What about risk, quality, and procurement? How much the exam was from those areas?
Yeah, there were questions. I remember there were questions from risk. There were questions from procurement management plan, or procurement statement of works, and procurement in agile. And there was also a question from the third thing. What did you said? Procurement, uh,
Quality,
risk.
quality, quality,
Yeah,
quality.
quality. There were a couple of questions from quality also.
But when you say couple of questions, means only two, three questions were from there.
What I mean is that the direct questions like related to quality management plan, quality metrics, there were not a lot of questions from here. What I found, mostly questions I found from Agile, Scrum, there were a lot of questions. Then there were a lot of questions from, I received like at least 10 to 15 questions from earned value, planned value, and these concepts, TCPI, uh, then the Tuckman ladder. There were a couple of questions from Tuckman ladder. Questions were there. So the calculation questions I received at least 10. So uh,
Wait, wait, wait.
but as compared to
I'm
the
gonna I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop here. You
yeah,
received 10
yeah,
calculation questions.
yeah,
And the calculation questions were related to CPI, SPI, or which domain?
CPI, SPI, earned value, planned value, and there were some selection. Yeah, I received like at if not 10, 7, 8 questions were definitely from there. Then there were questions from burn down chart, burn up chart. There was one question from burn up chart. There was one question for burn down chart. There was a couple of questions from Kanban. I remember Kanban board question was there. Then couple of one or two questions from Tuckman ladder. I had to select uh
Yeah, you cannot share
the
the
yeah.
Arslan, you cannot share
Okay.
the exact question. Okay,
Okay.
the context is more than enough. Okay.
Okay.
Any question like did we get any questions from EMV like risk question, risk formula or TCPI questions?
Yeah, I get one from TCPI, but there were no from EMV. But I did get question from the concepts of mitigation the risk or avoiding the risk, or this type of questions. There were a couple of questions where I had to deduce whether it's avoiding, escalating, or mitigating the risk.
Okay, okay. Did you get any question of ADCAR model or something like that you have not studied?
No, I did not.
Any critical, Kamal is asking any critical path question?
Critical path, no. Nothing with the critical path, nothing with the float or uh,
Yeah.
free float
Now,
also I did not.
let's talk about change request. How many questions from the change request domain?
Yes, there were good amount of question from change request. There were questions that uh, tested your knowledge about uh, how change management works, and then there were trick questions that made you choose whether there is a change management procedure in agile or not. If you are familiar about that, change management is only for predictive. And then there were questions about selecting the what is the process of change management called. So these type of for related to change management, I think there must be 5 6 questions I remember.
There will be
Mhm.
there was
Mhm.
five, six. Now that's a good
Mhm.
number of question.
Yeah,
What about compliance?
but I got couple of questions related to compliance and regulatory requirements, but they were not more than couple of questions.
Any lesson learned district questions?
Yeah, there were
Okay.
lesson learned questions,
What
but
about
they were not. Yeah.
governance?
No, governance, I did not had any questions from governance.
Okay, Madhvan, one of our certified PMP, he's saying congrats, Arslan and Amir Bhai. He also cleared PMP. He was, I guess, in batch 10. Yeah,
Oh,
Arslan,
okay.
the one batch later, just cleared a month ago. Okay,
Yeah.
so what about scope questions? Scope questions, yeah. Predictive scope. When I say scope, I mean
Yeah.
to, I meant to say predictive scope.
Yeah, there were some questions related to not a lot of questions, but there must have been a couple of questions where scope knowledge was tested, but they were not direct questions. They were like mixed with agile or something like that. And you just have to figure out your knowledge about how scope is managed in predictive and how scope is managed in agile, and then go for the right option, something like that.
Okay. Anything that
Mm.
is not in our study material? Any question?
Well, I think if all those people who are preparing for the PMP exam, one advice I would like to give is that I didn't find anything outside the course requirement, but uh, the thing that really gets tested is that sitting for the 4 hour exam, and
That's why I asked you to give 10 marks. Give 10
yeah,
marks.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that, no, that is okay. That is my thing. That I will make
yeah,
sure. And who will
yeah.
go through that will
Yeah.
go
So
through.
so I just wanted to add this that those 10 marks you gave me, it helped me a lot on the exam day, because I was prepared and I wasn't in the friction mode. I was lubricated enough to sit easily for the 4 hour exams,
You are a
and that
mechanical.
really.
You are a
Yeah.
mechanical engineer. Yes,
No, I'm an
that
I'm electronic engineer, but I think that is very important. So if anybody is preparing for it, he should ensure that he does when he's giving mocks in home, he does not like do in parts. He does it in one go, because over there you cannot deceive anybody, right? So you
Yeah,
have to just prepare for that. So that thing really helped me. If that's why I was able to get a good score, because even if I was fail not scoring high on the mocks, I was ensuring that I'm sitting for the 4 hours. So on the exam day, I did not had any problem focusing for 4 hours. So that is a very important thing.
very important thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kamal is asking any question on MBTA.
MBTI, sorry, I don't remember what is MBTI.
You remember when you started I asked you to fill a survey. There was a survey. All of you were getting Defender and things like that. That is Meyer Bridge survey. So you didn't get any question on MBTA.
No,
If you
I did
don't,
not.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
did
did
a
not.
batch like 4 months ago, but we did have MBTA thing.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of congratulations for you, Arslan, coming now. I hope you are getting the same thing from
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
Arslan, let's talk about a little bit more about this thing. How did you manage your time? Time
uh,
management.
During the exam.
Yes, of course, during
Yes.
the exam.
Yeah. So I planned it like, when I went to the exam was 2 30 minutes and there were 2 10 minutes break. So I had figured out that I wanted my last portion to have at least 80 minutes, because I knew that, whenever I was doing mocks, even at my home, for the last portion, I was mostly drained because you have already done 120 questions. So what I did is that for first portion, I gave myself 75 minutes. For the second portion, again, I gave 75 minutes, and for the last portion I kept 80 minutes, because for the last portion I always felt a bit more tired and less focused, because I had already given 120 done 120 questions. So that's why I wanted to keep extra 5 minutes for the last 60 questions. And when I was doing the exam, I was able to complete it 3 or 4 minutes before the time was over. So I think that really helped me, that I didn't allow the time take over me. If there was any question that I felt that it's taking a bit of more time, I just uh, gave the answer what I could best and moved on and just marked it.
Okay, 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 okay. So, any final advice you would like to give to PMP aspirants?
Yeah, my advice is definitely about the mocks, the importance of the mocks. If you do the mocks right and just go through what Amir, the information you have, the basic course from Amir, I don't see any reason why you can't uh, clear the PMP in the first attempt. So the mocks is very important. That's it. Yeah.
So, working on the mock, following the
Yeah.
roadmap, and
Yeah.
continuously moving in your journey is the most
Yeah.
important. Now,
Yeah.
since you have almost, guys, if you have any question from Arslan, we have him. We have him today, and you can catch him later on. So, but today you want to ask him any question, you can ask him there. So, Arslan, you know that my mantra: each one teach one. Still, one
Yeah.
or two guys, one I guess, one or two people are from your batch that have
Mm.
not cleared. Why don't
Yeah.
you push? Why don't you push?
Definitely.
Yeah, and
J- uh,
in addition to that, in batch 12, 13, 14, we have few amount of number of
yeah.
students.
Yeah.
I always recommend that each one teach one
Yeah.
so that we can make it far better, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
everyone can learn it. The
Yeah.
second thing, the very important thing I always request from all the people is that write down the questions. You
Mm.
need 60 videos, so the effort you spend it there, I will help you. Plus, the coach, you will coach you. There's a category in PMI giving back
Mm.
to community that we can work on. You get a
Yeah.
1 week relax, then
Yeah.
we can talk about that. And
Yeah.
finally, I hope you are already doing. Joseph, before moving that, Joseph is asking any question on conflict management.
No.
There was no question. Uh, from that angle, any questions on emotional intelligence?
Yeah, there was. There
There
was.
was. And
Yeah.
motivational theories.
No, I was surprised about. Actually, theories was one thing that I revised just the night before the exam. but I didn't get any questions, and I was really surprised myself about it because I was expecting at least something from Herzberg's or Maslow's or Moscow's or something like that from Hello or VRoom, but nothing.
No one is getting any question. In my opinion,
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
seen anyone in a long
yeah.
time any question from these
Recording in progress.
motivational theories. So
No, nothing.
that
Recording
that
stopped.
things remain the same. So
No.
final advice to you, Arslan.
Mm.
It's the time to celebrate here.
Okay, thank you.
It's the time to celebrate. So
Mm,
thank you very much, Arslan. It has been an
okay.
honor to serve
Mm.
you, and best of luck for your future endeavors. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for your efforts. Okay, thank you so much.